Right now, as you watch this, scientists are sailing toward islands that don't actually exist. Islands that have been on maps for hundreds of years. Islands that even Google still shows as real. But when they arrive, all they find is endless ocean. How can this happen? Stick around, because what you're about to hear will completely change how you see the world. Imagine this scenario. You're a marine scientist. You've got millions of dollars worth of research equipment, and you're navigating toward what should be a massive 15-mile-long island in the Pacific Ocean. Your GPS is beeping warnings that you're about to crash into land. Your charts show detailed coastlines. Google Earth has satellite imagery of beaches and vegetation. But when you look up from your instruments, there's literally nothing there. Just endless blue water stretching to every horizon. That's exactly what happened to Dr. Maria Seaton and her research team in 2012. And what they discovered that day didn't just solve a mystery, it exposed the biggest mapping scandal in modern history. For 136 years, this phantom landmass appeared on every official map, chart, and navigation system on the planet. We're not talking about some sketchy pirate map here. This was on Google Maps, Apple Maps, official government charts used by Navy fleets, and scientific databases used by researchers worldwide. But here's what's absolutely insane. Nobody ever thought to actually go there and check. The story starts in 1876 with Captain James Cook. Captain Cook was commanding a whaling vessel called the Velocity, and during a routine voyage, he reported spotting an uncharted island. Quick question before we continue. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made that just kept getting worse over time? Because trust me, Captain Cook's little map notation is about to become legendary. Drop your stories in the comments. So how does one captain's possibly mistaken sighting turn into a global mapping conspiracy? It's actually a masterclass in how misinformation spreads. Back then, making maps was like playing the world's most expensive game of telephone. Cartographer A would copy from cartographer B's charts. Cartographer B had copied from cartographer C, and cartographer C? Well, he got his information from some guy who heard it from a sailor in a tavern. But here's the brilliant part. Nobody wanted to be responsible for removing an island that might actually exist. Think about the liability. Imagine you're a mapmaker, and you decide Sandy Island is probably fake, so you delete it from your charts. Then a ship tries to navigate through that area and crashes into the very real island you just erased. You'd be facing lawsuits, angry ship captains, and probably getting kicked out of the Cartographers Guild or whatever professional organization existed back then. But here's where this story gets absolutely bizarre. As technology got better, Sandy Island didn't disappear. It got more detailed. In the 1980s, when satellite mapping became a thing, you'd think someone would have looked at the coordinates and said, "Hey, there's no island here." But no, the computers essentially said, "Well, this island appears on all these official databases, so it must be real. Let me enhance the imagery to show what it should look like." By the 2000s, Google Earth was displaying Sandy Island with realistic coastlines, elevation changes, even what looked like vegetation patterns. The AI was literally manufacturing a fake island based on decades of copied mistakes. Meanwhile, ships were occasionally passing through the area. Some reported seeing nothing. Others claimed they spotted something that might have been land. But the area is so remote, we're talking about one of the most isolated parts of the Pacific Ocean, that there wasn't enough traffic to definitively settle the question. This is actually insane when you think about it. In an age where we can zoom in on someone's backyard from space, we were still carrying around a navigation error from the horse and buggy era. Have you ever wondered what other facts we just accept because they've always been that way? Let me know in the comments. In November 2012, Dr. Maria Seaton from the University of Sydney is leading this marine research expedition. They're studying the seafloor and mapping tectonic plates. They've got state-of-the-art equipment worth millions of dollars, GPS systems accurate to within meters. As they're approaching the coordinates for Sandy Island, their navigation systems start going absolutely crazy. But all they could see was ocean water stretching endlessly in every direction. They spent 6 hours in that area, double-checking and triple-checking their position. Were their GPS systems malfunctioning? Had they miscalculated their route? Were they experiencing some kind of optical illusion? Nope. They were exactly where they thought they were. The coordinates matched perfectly. Sandy Island simply wasn't there. When Dr. Seaton's team published their findings, it sent shockwaves through the geographic and navigation communities. Within 48 hours, Sandy Island started disappearing from maps worldwide. Google updated their systems, Apple pushed out corrections, navigation companies issued emergency patches to GPS devices. The National Geographic Society had to revise their official charts. But here's what's really mind-blowing. Once researchers started digging deeper into this rabbit hole, they realized Sandy Island wasn't alone, not even close. They found phantom islands everywhere. Bermeja Island off the coast of Mexico, shown on Spanish maps for over 500 years. But recent searches using modern technology found nothing but empty ocean. Sarah Ann Island in the Arctic Ocean, probably just an iceberg that some explorer mistook for permanent land. The Aurora Islands near the Falklands, 3 entire islands that appeared and disappeared from maps like they were playing some cosmic game of hide and seek. This whole thing made me realize how much we take maps for granted. When was the last time you questioned whether a place on Google Maps actually exists? It's kind of wild that we just trust these systems completely. Sandy Island existed on maps for 136 years, not because anyone was lying or trying to deceive people, but because of something much more relatable. Nobody wanted to take responsibility for being wrong. Sound familiar? How many beliefs, traditions, or facts do we carry forward simply because challenging them feels too risky? How many times do we say, well, that's how it's always been done, instead of asking, but is it actually right? Dr. Seaton and her team weren't even looking for phantom islands. They were just trying to do marine research, and they accidentally became the people who solved one of geography's longest-running mysteries. This makes me wonder, what other mysteries are out there waiting for someone to just go look? What other facts are we all accepting that nobody's bothered to verify recently? If you could personally investigate any commonly accepted belief, what would it be? Let me know below. Are you questioning everything now? Do you have your own Phantom Island story? Have you ever discovered something that you always believed turned out to be completely wrong? And if you're new here and you love diving deep into bizarre historical mysteries, weird scientific discoveries, and those mind-bending stories that make you see the world differently, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because if 136 years of professional cartographers can be fooled by an island that never existed, what else might we be wrong out there? I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive into another story that'll make you question reality.